You are 7. The biting winter wind rattles the frosted windows of your Moscow orphanage as a man smelling of cheap tobacco selects you forever. Cold metal calipers press against your skull. The deafening tick of a metronome echoes in the damp room while shadowy doctors test your memory capacity. You are shoved onto a rattling midnight train. The suffocating stench of coal dust burns your lungs as you leave everything you ever knew behind. Arrival means standing barefoot on freezing concrete. The sharp scent of pine needles mixes with harsh chemical disinfectants as guards strip away your old clothes. Your native tongue is beaten out of you. Every slipped Russian syllable earns a stinging cane across your knuckles until your throat bleeds pure English. They assign you a new name, a fake hometown, and fabricated childhood memories. You must memorize the taste of apple pie you have never eaten. Physical conditioning tears your muscles apart. You crawl through freezing mud while live ammunition cracks overhead, the metallic scent of fresh blood filling your nostrils. Sleep deprivation shatters your mind. Blinding halogen lights burn your retinas while unseen interrogators scream questions at you, demanding the intricate details of your legend. You are moved into a subterranean fake American town. The vinyl booths of the diner squeak beneath you, smelling faintly of stale grease and deception. Graduation requires a final painful procedure. A scalpel slices the tender skin behind your ear, embedding a microscopic cipher that will dictate your entire future. Your true name is erased forever. A forged American passport is thrust into your trembling hands, accompanied by a wallet stuffed with crisp green dollars. You board a freezing military transport plane under the cover of darkness. The roaring engines drown out your racing heartbeat as you cross enemy lines. Customs at Idlewild Airport is your ultimate test. You smile warmly at the stern officer, perfectly mirroring the relaxed confidence of a returning American citizen. Your new apartment smells of cheap tobacco and damp wood. You methodically check the baseboards and light fixtures for hidden microphones before unpacking your suitcase. To secure your cover, you take a monotonous job filing paperwork at an insurance firm. You blend seamlessly into the dull rhythm of corporate life. You spot the prearranged signal at the rainy park. A man leaves a folded newspaper on the wet bench, establishing your first local contact protocol. Late at night, you pry up the floorboards. You carefully assemble a clandestine shortwave radio, hiding the fragile copper wires beneath a heavy woolen rug. You attend neighborhood barbecues and laugh at terrible jokes. Every smile is a calculated lie, masking the terrifying reality that you are watching them all. The static clears abruptly. A cold, mechanical female voice begins reciting random numbers in your native tongue, sending sharp chills straight down your rigid spine. Your first mission begins. You stroll through a damp alleyway, casually slipping a taped film canister from a hollow brick into your deep coat pocket. You lock the bathroom door, bathing the room in an eerie red glow. Slowly, you develop the film, revealing stolen blueprints of a military facility. Your breathing quickens as you translate the tiny text. The target is a local defense contractor. You must infiltrate their office before the week ends. You meticulously pack your vintage briefcase, a forged security badge, a miniature camera hidden inside a silver lighter, and a set of steel lockpicking tools. Rain masks your footsteps as you scout the brutalist concrete building. You memorize the patrol routes, timing the armed guards with your ticking wristwatch perfectly. Disguised as a nighttime janitor, you slip past the front desk. Your heart hammers against your ribs while you casually mop the linoleum corridor floors. Sweeping the empty hallway with a cautious glance, you kneel. Gloved hands manipulate delicate tension wrenches until the heavy brass lock finally clicks softly open. A narrow flashlight beam cuts through the pitch-black office. You frantically thumb your tiny lighter camera, capturing page after page of confidential missile trajectory data. Heavy footsteps suddenly echo outside. You dive beneath the mahogany desk, holding your breath as a guard's flashlight sweeps across the frosted glass door pane. The guard slowly passes by. You slip out the rear fire exit, scrambling over a rusted chain-link fence and vanishing into the cold, forgiving rain. Dripping wet inside a glowing public payphone, you dial an international number. You whisper a cryptic phrase, signaling that the stolen intelligence is fully secured. A metallic voice recites a string of numbers. You memorize the coordinates instantly, tearing the matchbook to shreds before stepping back into the violent storm. Back in your hidden basement darkroom, bathed in eerie red light, you carefully developed a film. These delicate strips hold secrets that could ignite war. You roll the microscopic negatives tightly, sealing them inside a hollow silver nickel. This tiny piece of pocket change is now the most dangerous weapon. The next morning, you stroll through a bustling city park. Autumn leaves crunch beneath your shoes as you carefully scan the area for hostile surveillance. A man in a gray suit pretends to read the morning paper. You recognize the posture of a counterintelligence officer and calmly alter your path. Reaching your designated dead drop, you sit casually. With a practiced motion, you press the loaded coin into a wad of gum beneath the bench. Exiting the park, you brush against a brick wall, subtly drawing a white chalk cross. The signal is set. Your handler will retrieve the package. Walking away, the paranoid itch returns. You check reflections in shop windows, watching for shadows trailing too closely behind you in the busy city crowd. You finally arrive at your quiet suburban home. The white picket fence and manicured lawn act as the perfect camouflage for your dark double life. Stepping inside, you instantly transform into the perfect, loving family member. You laugh at jokes and share stories, burying the adrenaline of espionage beneath a flawless facade of domestic bliss. Later, you watch the evening news. The anchor discusses rising global tensions and nuclear threats, while you sit silently, knowing you are fueling that fire. Midnight arrives. Once your family is deeply asleep, you slip out of bed. You creep down the creaking wooden stairs into the damp, dark basement. Behind heavy boxes of holiday decorations, you reveal a false wall. You pull it back to expose your secret communications hub and a shortwave radio. Slipping on the heavy headphones, you carefully turn the glowing dials. You scan through thick static and foreign broadcasts, searching for your designated frequency tonight. Suddenly, a strange musical chime breaks the static. A cold, synthetic voice begins reciting a relentless string of numbers into your ears. The broadcast begins. You grab your pencil and furiously transcribe the digits. Pulling out your one-time pad, you begin the tedious process of decoding the encrypted intelligence transmission. The decrypted words form a chilling directive. Your heart pounds heavily against your ribs. The agency wants an assassination, and they have chosen you tonight. Memorizing the target, you strike a match. You drop the burning cipher sheet into a metal bucket, watching the dangerous evidence turn into gray ash. You return to your warm bed, but sleep is impossible. Staring at the dark ceiling, you realize your peaceful suburban life might suddenly end tomorrow. Morning arrives with agonizing normalcy. You pour coffee and force a cheerful smile for your spouse, burying the terrible secret beneath a flawless suburban facade. Slipping into the dusty garage, you pry open the false bottom of your toolbox. Cold steel greets your trembling fingers. The silenced pistol is ready. You drive toward the bustling city through a sudden blinding downpour. Every sweep of the windshield wipers feels like a ticking clock counting down time. Reaching the plaza, you spot your target immediately. He sits alone on a weathered concrete bench, completely unaware that a ghost is watching him closely. When he finally stands, you follow him into a narrow alleyway. The shadows swallow you both, isolating the target from the busy civilian world outside. Your hand tightens around the concealed weapon inside your heavy overcoat. Your training demands swift action, yet a sudden wave of profound hesitation paralyzes you. Stepping closer, you prepare to draw. Suddenly, a small girl emerges from a side door, running joyfully to hug the target around his sturdy legs. You freeze instantly. The ruthless enemy of the state is just a loving father. The rigid ideology that fueled your entire life begins fracturing deeply. Releasing the cold pistol, you slowly step backward into the deep darkness. You cannot pull the trigger today. The devastating mission is officially aborted now. Blending back into the chaotic city crowd, you realize the terrifying truth. Disobeying a direct order means the agency will inevitably send someone for you. You return to your quiet safe house, but something feels terribly wrong. The front door is slightly ajar. Your ruthless former handlers are already waiting inside. Slipping through the hidden basement window, you bypass the waiting assassins upstairs. You frantically grab your emergency bag, packed with untraceable cash and escape routes. Bursting into the cold rain, you sprint down the slick alleyway. Heavy footsteps echo behind you. The agency's deadliest cleaner is now actively pursuing you. You dive into a crowded subterranean transit hub, shoving past tired commuters. The dense sea of oblivious civilians offers a momentary shield from certain death. Pressing your back against a damp concrete pillar, you hold your breath. The relentless hunter scans the busy platform, his sharp eyes searching for you. Slipping quietly through a rusted maintenance door, you vanish into the subterranean labyrinth. Flickering overhead lights cast long, terrifying shadows across the endless metal pipes. Inside a filthy station restroom, you drastically alter your appearance. Chopping off your hair with stolen scissors, you watch your old identity die completely away. Reaching behind a loose tunnel brick, you retrieve an emergency lockbox. Fresh passports and smuggled currency provide the necessary tools for your completely new life. You dial a memorized number on a broken payphone. You desperately request immediate extraction from an old smuggler contact who owes you a major favor. Boarding a dilapidated midnight bus, you pay the gruff driver in untraceable cash. The dark engine rumbles loudly as you leave the dangerous city behind. Dawn breaks as the bus approaches a heavily guarded border checkpoint. You present your forged passport with steady hands, praying the ink holds up perfectly. Arriving at a remote coastal dock, you meet your smuggler contact. He gestures toward a battered fishing boat hidden perfectly within the thick morning mist. As the vessel cuts through the churning ocean, you drop your encrypted cipher ring into the dark waves. Your old life sinks permanently into oblivion. Weeks later, you step into a sunlit plaza in a completely neutral country. The vibrant crowd swallows you whole, offering the ultimate unbreakable civilian camouflage. You sip coffee at a quiet cafe, a ghost reading about a war you secretly fought. You survived the cold, but the chill remains forever.